Okay, second video about Topsy's Spitfire flying controls. We're in Cliffs of Dover, sitting in a Spitfire Mark 1A 100 octane, and the engine is on and turning slowly. And down here we've got our flying controls. Here's the control column, and I'll try and give you a vision where you can see both happening at the same time. So I'm turning left here with the control column right here, bringing it back and going forward. Okay, so that's that. The firing button, you can see shooting away a few rounds here. I've assigned the bottom firing button to the cockpit hood, so I've just pressed that and the hood is now open. The propeller pitch lever, which is here, I'll push it forward and we can see on the screen that the prop pitch is going up. So here we're at 100% and the lever is fully forward. So I'll bring it back to about halfway and we're at 70, 50, back to 0 here. Okay, throttle lever, I better bring the stick back. That's going up. You can see there, and you can see the propeller lever working in concert with what I'm doing. Same with the air screw control, that's going forward and it's coming back. So this is mimicking what I'm doing in my virtual cockpit here. So what you see on the screen is what you get on the controls. The rudder trim in Cliffs of Dover and elevator trim wheels don't actually rotate on the screen, but if I come to the canopy here, you can see that there I'm rolling it forward, it's gone down. I'm rolling it back, the pitch trim is coming up. So that's by moving this lever here, or this wheel here, and I can get the pitch trim to work quite well. That's the elevator trim, so I'll bring it down to 1 notch. About 1 notch down here somewhere, so that'll be that. Now the famous buttons, I've got these mapped up for different things. I think A doesn't have anything. Off, I think, is the map. So as I press off, the map comes up and on. So that's just an example of what you can assign buttons for. The brake lever works as well. Now on Cliffs of Dover you don't actually see the brake lever on the column working, but if you look over here to the gauge, here I've got the lever fully on and both brakes pressures are coming up and down. So that's by pulling this lever here, and that's working the brake pressure over there. So let's try and do a takeoff, a live takeoff. I need to position myself properly here. Okay, rudder pedals. Sorry for jerking around a bit. So the rudder pedals are working. So pitch fully forward. I better open up some radiators. I think I've got that on here. On D. Okay, yeah, I'm using D as the C and D on the remote controller unit as my radiator. So that's D is open and C is close on these buttons here. Alright, so I haven't assigned anything on A and B yet, I don't think. Nothing's happening. B is for probably useful for dropping bombs or something. Okay, so I'll put the landing gear I've got on the fuel cutoff lever, so just after takeoff I'll be pushing that lever forward, and as it goes past the midway point it should retract the gear, so we'll see if that works. So without further ado, I'll put about 50% on here, release the chocks, and we're off. And rotate. And the gear is up, the lever is forward, and I better come back on pitch. Okay, I'm going to close the hood by pressing a button on the throttle control. So, safely up and flying, and I'll try and move back a bit so that you can see the controls and the screen at the same time. Just above the keyboard you can see the mimic of the flying controls. So climb, left wing down, tighten the turn up a bit. Okay, so Topsy's gear is working. Thank you for watching, and keep you updated for the next step.